What makes a person boring? What movie do you consider perfect? What are some ways to make money fast? Sell your plasma. Marry a billionaire, then divorce them for half their money. Paint your toes and get on Feet Finder. Start slinging those dogs on the internets. Make niche content like you stepping on cake and whatnot. Boom. Oh, lie about your gender. Get free items on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, etc. Clean them and take nice pictures. Sell them. Yeah, I had a neighbor that did this. Ended up with piles of unsellable junk overflowing their house and into our yard. Legally or illegally? Yell at it until it goes faster. Make a make money fast pamphlet and sell it for $2. That worked well for me. What is the best film you've ever seen? I really like Fargo. I know it's not for everyone, but I liked how it was written, acted, and directed. Big Lebowski, pretty great too. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and The Shawshank Redemption. Spirited Away. Oh my god, do I agree with this one. My favorite animated movie of all time. Maybe even my favorite movie of all time. Children of Men. The Prestige. Pulp Fiction. Alien. No contest. Princess Bride is a perfect movie. Rare in that its flaws only enhance the overall perfection. If you told me they were going to remove the obvious man in a Spirit Halloween rat suit for the ROUS and put in a CG giant rat, I'd tell you they're genuinely ruining the soul of the movie. More so than a CGI Yoda or E.T. Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. What commercial is burned into your memory? 800-588-2300 Empire Today. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. Meow 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 meow. I've fallen and I can't get up. M&M's? He does exist. Santa? They do exist. The Hershey's Kisses Jingle Bells at Christmas. I look forward to seeing it every year. ETA. Thanks for the awards, guys. Also, I know the commercial was on last year, so hopefully it continues. The Six Flags Dancing Old Man. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? That commercial is a classic. What canceled TV show would you want more seasons of? Mindhunter. Last Man on Earth. Way to leave us all hanging. The Dark Crystal. Age of Resistance. They ended it after one season and on a bit of a cliffhanger, and I'm still salty about it. This may be childish, but Blue Planet, the nature docuseries. It got taken off of Netflix, but the cinematography was just gorgeous. That and the soundtrack. Hannibal, Dead Like Me, or Better Off Ted. The Santa Clarita Diet. Community with Donald Glover. Wasn't the same without him. Which actor basically plays the same character in every movie, but you think that's okay? Ryan Reynolds. Dwayne Johnson. He just lives in jungles. Should change his name to George. Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn. Kevin Hart. He can only play Kevin Hart. Michael Cera has been playing George Michael Bluth for his entire career, except in Molly's Game, where he plays Tobey Maguire. Arnold Schwarzenegger, though he's not a bad comedic actor. Mark Wahlberg, always a cop, boxer, or bad guy. Guy from Boston plays Guy from Boston. Seth Rogen. Will Smith, he basically just plays himself in every movie. Hey, keep his f***ing name out your mouth. Samuel L. Jackson. Zach Galifianakis. If you were given 5 minutes in a supermarket to take what you could and it'd be paid for, what would you take? All the scratch tickets and electronics. The easy way out, for sure. The deed to the building. You're not going to be able to find that in 5 minutes, buddy. I'd use that 5 minutes deciding what to get, never actually getting anything. I'ma pray they have bottles of 25-year-old and above scotch. All the money, all of the gift cards. Alas, they have to be activated. Not sure if it's in the 5-minute limiter. I'd take so many bags of pistachios. Ow, pistachios are so good. Like, genuinely, I know they're expensive, but like, they're kind of worth it. I love pistachios. If you were given a box of all the stuff you lost, what's the first thing you'll look for? When I was a young kid, I found a Charmander toy at the pool. It was like a little figurine. And then one day, it just magically went missing. I feel like I might have thrown it into the attic when I was a kid and then forgot about it and then remembered it like 4 years later and I couldn't find it. But that's what I'd look for. I would look for a little brown teddy bear with a red bow tie. His name was Radar, and my wife gave him to me for Valentine's Day in the 3rd grade. My mom tossed him after we moved away a year later, and yeah, wife and I ended up getting married 16 years later, but finding that bear would be amazing. The $100 I left at an ATM because I brain farted, took my card and walked out before the cash dispensed. My cat, it's been a month now since we've seen her. My husband's 10mm socket, so he'll stop about it. Get his You go, girl. The hundreds of guitar picks that have slipped into alternate dimensions. Seriously, my freshman year of college, I dropped one on a square section of concrete about 15 feet square, and it bounced out of sight. I was surrounded by concrete, and a bright green pick literally vanished. Edit. This is my highest voted comment, and I'm okay with that because this is by far the most attention anyone has ever paid to this problem. That has been bugging me for almost 10 years. Way to be, folks. I lost my cat. Question is, should I really open that box? Well, he may or may not be in there. So, my shiny Charizard card. I highly doubt it will be there, but it's just to prove myself and Connor that Connor is in fact a thief. I asked him at least 10 times for it. This bone I found found at the beach that's 1 to 10 million years old. I got it checked by one of the fossil scientists and everything. It's somewhere in my house and I just need to find it. Guys, I started looking for it today and found a box with a bunch of shells and I collected from the beach. And the bone was in there and I'm so f***ing happy. Hey, good for you, man. Hell yeah. What music did you previously love but can no longer listen to due to the opinions/behavior of the artist? R. Kelly, Lost Prophets. This 100%. I hate saying that it'd be easier to be able to listen to the music if it wasn't the lead singer, but I do think it may be. Or at least easier to separate art from the artist. However, the sheer f***ing evil that dude did is what completely kills all the music for me. Kanye, Marilyn Manson, Travis Scott, 10,000%. Pretty sure he is the work of Satan at this point. Chris Brown, still listen to Under the Influence covers though. 30 Seconds to Mars, Rex Orange County. That was one for me. Fresh one. Eesh. Disgusting behavior. It's October of 2009. What you up to? Not knowing and blissfully ignorant about what kind of awaits me in the following years. Playing on Xbox with the boys on Call of Duty. Currently working on a secret virus to cause mass panic worldwide. Planning on releasing it in 2019. Probably playing Little Big Planet on PS3. Club Penguin. Listening to emo music up in my room crying because they don't have a GF. I really struggled a lot with girls before I succeeded. Playing Halo 2 for the first time. Good times. Playing Halo 3 with my friends talking about the swine flu. What's something extremely dangerous you've done without knowing it's extremely dangerous? I used to mix all kinds of cleaners together back when I worked retail so many years ago, including bleach and ammonia. Oh yeah, it's mustard gas time, baby. Pulled over on an exit ramp when I saw this poor skinny dog that I thought I was going to be able to rescue. He looked like he'd been outside a long time. His fur was a bit patchy. I was so worried about him. I got out of the car and took about 3 steps towards him when I realized I was trying to rescue a damn coyote. I grew up in the country until I was 12, so my brothers and I would disappear in the woods a lot for hours. I've done some stupid stuff. I climbed to the top of 30-foot trees, unsupervised, knocked down an active beehive for fun, not my finest moment, and spied on weird neighbors that lived miles away. Explored abandoned buildings, but the dumbest I can think of at the moment is climbing headfirst into an animal's den. My brother and I used to do that a lot, and it's a miracle we never got hurt. I did get chased by some wild animals, but never scratched or anything, except the bees. I got stung that day by a lot of rightfully angry bees. Met up with a man I met on Craigslist to sell him my TV. I was broke and desperate at the time and didn't think much of it until he asked me to help him carry it into his weird room in his basement. I ran out of there. Put bleach in a metal spray bottle. Not exceedingly dangerous, but also don't do that. Bleach is corrosive and reacts to metal. It caused gases to build up and the pressure actually exploded the plastic trigger off the top. Learned a lesson that day. Me being 14 and trying to attach 2 naked wires to each other to charge my iPod. Imagining an old alarm clock wire being held together by my bare hands to an iPod wire like some mad scientist causing sparks in an old-timey horror film. Nearly electrocuted myself just because I wanted to Skype my friends. Non-Canadians. What do you think every Canadian person has in their house? A heating system in any form. At least 3 toques. As a Canadian, I think I might just turn this feed into a home scavenger hunt. A Canadian. Hey, fair enough. A house hippo. What the hell is a house hippo? I'm gonna Google that. Huh? Wait, it's actually just a house hippo. Huh, must be a niche thing. Non-Canadians. Nice try, Mr. Poutine. A flannel. Maple syrup. Snow boots and a positive attitude. Hockey stick. Kraft's peanut butters. I didn't know Kraft made peanut butter. A toilet. What can we all agree on that just sucks? Mosquitoes. Literally and figuratively. The never-ending wipe. You know what I'm talking about. Vacuum cleaners. That's the joke. That's the joke. Bills. Wet socks, man. You know, I'm actually not very fond of wet socks, come to think of it, so I agree. Ticketmaster. James Corden. When the toilet water splashes your bum when a heavy poop drops in, it's worse when it's not your own poop. What? What do you mean? I don't even want to know. Chris Pratt as Mario. What is an example of a very bad idea? Getting a GF or BF's name tattooed on your body after knowing them for less than a year. Getting a GF or BF's name tattooed, period. At a previous job, my boss was married to a divorce lawyer. My boss cheated with the receptionist. My boss did not fare so well in the divorce. Hey, have you heard about this great new cryptocurrency? Anything after the words, hold my beer. Alternately, y'all, watch this. Bombs Away, a restaurant where all the food is dropped on your table from trapdoors in the ceiling. Don't order the soup. Going to Reddit for relationship advice. Using a power washer as a bidet. Sounds dangerous, but at least your will be clean. What did you care about but don't anymore? Old crushes. Ones that I've gotten over and moved on from. Going to bars. It's the last thing I would ever want to do anymore. What people think about me. Sadly, nearly everything. Trying to do better and be better. Now I just stay in my lane and let time drag me to the next day. Food and social media. What is the biggest waste of money? Gambling. Reddit coins. Buying anything which is recommended by a shitty influencer. Chefs adding gold leaves on the food. Crazy expensive, and I heard it doesn't taste like anything. Upgrading your phone every single year. It's just so dumb. My plan actually lets me do that. So I don't ever buy the phone. I just I do a payment thing on it, and then every year when the new iPhone comes out, I can switch it for a low cost. I actually really like it. It's nice. Gambling gambling via mobile gacha games and loot box games. All that moolah gone for digital nothing. At least in Vegas, the alcohol is free while you play. In-app purchases. In-app purchases. An electric kettle. Tea, cheese, the wrong trousers, and a penguin. They're the wrong trousers, Gromit, and they've gone wrong. Heating via radiator. Pint glasses. Specifically, pint glasses nicked from the pub. A washing machine in your kitchen, and possibly a fridge half the height of an American one. Malt vinegar. An umbrella. In case you need to jump off a high building and make a safe landing. Something considered an heirloom. Of great importance they got from an elderly relative, but no one is brave enough to take to Antiques Roadshow because they don't want to be told it's some knockoff or imitation thingamabob that isn't worth anything. Brown sauce. Is brown sauce just a British thing? I've introduced so many friends to HP sauce and it's changed their lives. Knickknacks, tidbits, trifles, trinkets, and maybe a whole hodgepodge of doodahs. Heinz baked beans. Separate hot and cold traps. A biscuit tin full of sewing materials. That little room under the stairs where Harry Potter slept in. Okay, I don't know. I'm confused. Sorry, editor. People who post nudes on Reddit. Why do you do that? Advertising. So they can sell their nudier nudes on OnlyFans. Did you post this just so that you can look at profiles with nudes? Big brain. Massive brain. Check your DM. I just sent you my nutsack. This is just an elaborate way to say send nudes. Manners maketh man. I never thought highly of myself. People post nudes on Reddit? Ew. Gross. Where? OP playing 4D chess out here. I mean, how else am I supposed to promote my church's homeless outreach program? I think you mean your church's homeless reach around program. Redditors who had a gun pointed at you? How are you still alive? Friend was given a .22 handgun for his 8th grade graduation. Started waving it around. I said stop that. He said it isn't loaded and pulled the trigger. The bullet went through my hair right above my right ear. Never spoke to that dumb again. First time armed robbery while at work years ago. He just wanted the money from the register, so no big deal there. Second time, I didn't even know a gun was pointed at me. Random shooting. I took a bullet to the back of the head while driving. Alive due to sheer luck. My vehicle fit the suspect description, but I didn't. My brother pointed a rifle at me just fooling around. Aimed the gun down and slid the bolt. Found the gun was loaded. He threw up. I let the gun holder make the first moves. I didn't talk unless I was addressed first. I didn't move unless I was told to. I didn't try to run or leave until he left. And then I promptly myself. The person was playing around and thought the gun was unloaded. He pointed it at my head and was about to pull the trigger when my husband, who had been raised to learn that you never ever point a gun at somebody, grabbed it away from him. Turned out the gun was loaded. Person was an alcoholic and forgot that he had loaded the gun last time he got drunk. Followed their instructions and kept as calm as I could. Had a couple of friends with me and we all complied, except for one idiot who kept running his mouth and saying like, yeah, these p***ties. They eventually had him face down and the rest of us against the wall. A car full of some acquaintances slowed down and asked if we were okay. We were all going to the same party, and the guys with guns got scared and ran off. As I typed this, I realized it was probably the basically strangers the reason why we didn't all get shot. Gave them everything in my pockets, except one time I told them I didn't have a cell phone, so when they drove off, I called the cops and gave them a vehicle description and direction of travel. They were caught at the gas station filling up with my $20. What is an automatic deal breaker on a first date? Well, about a month ago, I made plans to meet up for a date with this girl that I was really getting along with. Then after the plans were made, she calls me and says, yeah, I should probably tell you that I'm engaged and my fiance will be joining us. But it's alright, we have an open relationship and is bringing his girlfriend too. Absolutely not. You want to be polyamorous? I won't judge you for that. It's fine. It's cool. But be upfront and honest, please. Come on. Talking about their ex constantly. Won't stay off their cell phone, and also the way they treat servers. James Corden has entered the chat and was quickly thrown out of the chat and into a pit of snakes. A dude once took his socks off while we watched a movie and started using his fingernails to dig stuff out from under his toenails. I was immediately out, not showing up. We've all been there, I think. Bringing their parents. It's happened. What? Ew. Like maybe when you're like going on like your first date in middle school, maybe. But like what? Like adult? No way. I always think it's a deal breaker when they talk about themselves and never ask anything about you. Or when no matter what you tell them about you, they always one up the story. Choosing my food for me. If we're sharing loaded nachos and they specifically take all the ones with meat and cheese and stuff, leaving you just with chips. And I mean just chips. Restaurants should have a rule about that. Pet names. Don't call me babe. We barely know each other. How do you feel about Shirley? When the date sounds like a job interview. Who is the best sitcom character of all time? Hal from Malcolm in the Middle. Basil Fawlty. It's George Costanza. Lucille Bluth. She stole every scene she was in, which is both a testament to how well the character was written and Jessica Walter's performance. Charlie Kelly. Captain Holt. Ron effing Swanson. Creed. Proof that less is more. Somebody making soup. What is some dark going on around the world right now the public probably doesn't know about? Saudi Arabia sentencing to death people who refuse to move out of their homes so that they can build Neom, their new megacity, and their relatives being sentenced to multiple decades of prison time just for protesting or merely posting their support to the cause on social media. 70% of the world's chocolate comes from West Africa. An estimated 1.5 million child slaves are engaged in chocolate production in Ghana and the Ivory Coast, alone, not counting Nigeria or Cameroon. Behind every polished business facade is a hodgepodge of systems that are hacked together to service you. Data protection is second to revenue. All the networks and system engineers have the power to truly steal all your data. Bacterial resistance to antibiotics is at an alarming level. There has already been instances of pan-antibiotic resistant strains of bacteria. This can throw us back to the pre-antibiotic era, which will effectively mean catch an infection and die. No big pharma wants to invest in antibiotic research because of the huge R&D costs relative meager return. Although everyone agrees that we desperately need new antibiotics. Well, as soon as dying from infections becomes a rich people problem again, the interest will skyrocket. Not after it's already taken its course, unfortunately. Every day, a different person asks a slightly reworded question about what men or women want on AskReddit. That's just the AI learning about us. Don't worry about it. That 90+% of the local news you're seeing is basically just the same newscast from Texas to Florida, from Alaska to Wisconsin. They just add in a traffic wreck or 7-Eleven shooting. People that sit in those chairs are puppets. Humanity has wiped out 60% of animal populations since 1970. Well, maybe I shouldn't have read all these comments. If you went into a coma and woke up in the year 2122, what would be the first thing you would want to know? As someone who's been in a coma a month, your first thought when you find out how long you've been asleep is, what the f happened to make you enter a coma? I have very little memory of the events leading to my coma. In fact, all I remember is a worsening headache over the last week I was conscious. I have no memory of the last 2 days before I went to the hospital. Is the save button still a floppy disk? I'm sure that's your number one priority. What the f is your profile picture? Oh god. Okay. How the f am I still alive? How much is the hospital bill? There's a chance I might just request to be euthanized. Would ask to nap for 5 more minutes. GTA 6 out yet? No, it's not. What is the currency in this radioactive wasteland? What do movies, animation, and games look like? What movie do you consider perfect? Jurassic Park, 1993. Practical and CGI effects outclass stuff made today. Characters have flaws and feel like real people. We see those characters grow and change over the course of the film. In my opinion, it is a masterpiece, not just in film, but in storytelling. Alien, pacing, acting, originality, and exposition are flawless. The Thing, 1982. Whiplash, no wasted scenes or lines. Silence of the Lambs. The Shawshank Redemption. Die Hard. It is note for note the perfectly crafted action movie. I'm not saying it's Oscar worthy, I'm saying that for what it is, and it's trying to be, it's perfect. Hot Fuzz. Granted, it's not my favorite movie, but it is perfect in its own way. There is not one scene or word of dialogue that is wasted in that movie. Every line is either foreshadowing, callback, or a reference to another action movie. Back to the Future. Perfect combination of funny, action, and sci-fi. Set the standard for time travel. Great performances, tight script, interesting and original characters. Yeah, I'm sure the movie where the guy kisses his mom is a perfect movie. Shut up. It's weird. It's a weird movie, and I don't like it. Goodfellas. What makes a person boring? When their personality is just talking about how much they work, answering questions but never asking them or attempting to continue the conversation. Being too repetitive is very boring. If you hear the same thing over and over again, you grow weary. When someone lacks curiosity, having no opinions of their own, being a buzzkill, always p***y and annoying. Why the f*** are y'all describing me here? Comment above says making everything about them, talking about the same thing constantly. The one-liners of K, lol. Yeah. Alright everybody, that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Says Mason. Goodbye.